You could have the best idea in the world and all the personal drive and ambition of Tony Stark, but if you don't have the right team behind you to help nurture that fledgling business in its growing, vulnerable early years, then you will end up Justin Hammer.
Hammer Tech?
The fact of the matter is, you can't do it alone. Even Batman had to learn this. And Zack Snyder.
Brought some friends. Everyone, this is Alfred. I work for him.
When startup founders hire staff, they are looking for something extra. Something that larger existing corporations don't necessarily look for in employees. In an existing company's eyes, an accountant need only be an accountant. For a startup hire, an accountant should also be an accountant, but with a little edge. An ability to work outside of the box, and when called on, the flexibility to fulfill those tasks that are unique to startups.
Side of the scorecard. First pitch swinging.
So what kind of a team are you looking for? And how can you find them? Number one, it isn't all about qualifications. Sure, qualifications are important if you're looking for specialized skills.
Probably like, I'm a mime.
But don't necessarily jump at the best qualified person for the job. In smaller operations, the working chemistry between the employees can be the driving force towards success. With smaller teams, this chemistry has to be right. This is even more important in the high-stakes, high-pressure world of the startup. Larger companies can absorb an ill-fitting or disruptive member of the staff. If they get the job done, it's all that matters.
Yes! Crab cakes and football! That's what Maryland does!
Anyone who's ever played on a sports team or had to do a group project with an asshole knows that one person can ruin the whole experience.
There, finished. Good Will Hunting by Matt Damon.
Hey, you think we could put both our names on that?
Obviously, getting the job done is important for the startup, but equally important is how they get the job done and how they mesh with the other team members. Low morale and infighting is a recipe for disaster.
What are you guys doing? This isn't nice.
Number two, passion. If they don't have the passion for the project, they aren't right for you. It's as simple as that. Startups feed and prosper on the passion of their founders and their first employees. If the passion isn't there, then the drive and energy that the startup requires to grow isn't going to be there. Always remember that in any interview process, you are interviewing them and they are interviewing you.
Can I use this chair?
Sure.
Oh, no, I started it. That's...
The passion or lack thereof that an interviewee shows at a hiring interview is as crucial a benchmark to look at as their qualifications and their resume. Startups need staff that are passionate about the business. That little glint in their eye or the excitement in their voice as they reply to questions says as much as the answers do themselves.
'Cause I want it that way.
Otherwise, you're hiring a mercenary. Find the people who are right for you and are as passionate about this business as you are. Number three, talent. The mechanics behind larger companies means that staff are usually hired for a particular talent. Startups require talented staff too, but it must be more than just a pigeonholed talent that larger companies are out there looking for. You want to attract people that have the appropriate qualifications, but underlying these is an overall ability, willingness, and talent to wear multiple hats and apply this range of abilities to problem solving whatever issues the fledgling startup faces.
Are you tired of fussing with giant pasta pots, strainers, timers, stirring, and testing?
This can be seen in the millennial workforce. The average job posting is becoming less and less quantum physics and more Swiss Army knife. Startups very often don't have the need for a full-time lawyer or product manager or a host of other roles. But if a candidate can fulfill these and have the talent to turn their hand to whatever else comes along, then they are going to be an impressive asset for any company. Communication. If by now you do not understand the value of good communication after A year of Zoom meetings, emails, DMs, press releases, articles, and God knows what other app now exists out there, from WhatsApp to TikTok. I can't help you. You have to understand that proper communication and knowing how to use it is invaluable. Furthermore, also just knowing when to say, I screwed up, can make or break a business. You have to have good, solid communication with your employees, whether they're starting out on the first day or whether they've been working with you for 5 years. Good communication is invaluable. How do they respond to emails? How do they respond in interview questions? How are they at relating to the people that they're working with? It all matters.
Operator, how may I direct your call?
Number 5, experience. A little farther down on the list, but it still matters.
What do you mean you do voices? Well, I do voices.
Yeah! Look, this should be obvious, but if you can attract someone with previous experience working in a startup that meets all of the other criteria as well, then by God, you've got a winner. If this is your first startup, be aware that you are entering an alien world that can swallow companies that make its first mistake.
Oops. What does that mean? What do you mean?
No, I got it. Some jerk didn't put.
I know what I
got it, though.
mean when I say oops. What do you mean saying?
Experience doesn't have to be in your field of study, though. Just like athletes cross-train and employees can pull skills from other environments. And like Elon pointed out, there's already too many MBAs running companies. My first job in sales came because I was an actor. I could hold the attention of a crowd. I could speak eloquently. I could come up with copy. And I got a job in sales simply because of that. And no, I was not the squeegee guy, but if you're casting, go ahead and slip in those DMs, baby. The point is, experience doesn't have to be in the form of school. It can come from working as a barista, being a bartender, doing a myriad of other jobs that then apply to your startup.
I can tell you the license plate numbers of all 6 cars outside. I can tell you that our waitress is left-handed and the guy sitting up at the counter weighs 215 pounds and knows how to handle himself. I know the best place to look for a gun is the cab of the gray truck outside. And at this altitude, I can run flat out for a half mile before my hands start shaking.
Number 6, a shared vision. Not everyone will get on board with your startup idea. If they don't share the vision you have for the future of your startup or have a lack of belief in the viability of your product, then they aren't for you.
Behold, Arthur, this is the Holy Grail.
Having staff members employed that are there for the paycheck and nothing else is a liability in the early stages of a startup. But here's the thing, that's okay. One of the hardest lessons to learn when you're first starting out as an actor or in any job is that you're not right for every project. And that's okay, because you may work with them down the line, you might not. Everyone's trying to get the best product across. And if you don't fit it, then you don't fit it. Go on with your life. It's the same thing for a startup. You're assembling your team, and you need people with the right temperament and dedication to not only see you through to the finish line, but just to help you get to the starting line. You have a vision for your company, and in those early days, anyone that comes to work for you must share that vision and be driven towards the same goals. Everything goes back to teamwork. Your team is small and close-knit. You've got to be able to trust them. Anything that upsets the balance of how your team operates is going to be counterproductive and potentially damaging. So what criteria do you use to hire your employees? Let us know in the comments, and as always, never stop learning.